I never in my life would have imagined how much support.
He lost his wife, and he was badly injured when a tree fell on their tent while camping. Tonight, Lexington man has a message to those who have helped his family.
Investigators say there may be more potential victims in a sexual misconduct case involving former House Speaker Dennis Hastert.
Taking steps to find a cure, how Relay for Life has touched many cancer survivors and their families here in the Bluegrass.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 11.
Good evening. Her death shocked the community. A Lexington woman killed by a falling tree while camping with her family.
Now, 2 months later, that family continues to receive help from some generous people. In April, investigators say a tree fell on the tent Kathy Carlson and her family were in during a storm in Powell County. Tonight, many people gathered at a Lexington school to raise money for the family, and Carlson's husband, who was injured by the tree, talked to us about it. Monique Blair has our top story at 11.
We gathered here today to celebrate my wife Kathy's life.
On April 3rd, 45-year-old Kathy Carlson was killed after a tree fell on the tent she was sleeping in while camping at Natural Bridge with her husband and 3 sons. Her husband Brian was also seriously injured.
I never in my life would have imagined how much support and that's been out there for us.
On Friday, a fundraiser was held at Meadowthorpe Elementary. A band played for the crowd and guests took part in a silent auction. All of the proceeds will go to the Carlson family.
We came together and decided that it would be nice for us to have the opportunity to reach out and show them a little bit of love and support.
I'll get 2 kitty with banana.
Several different food trucks were also at the fundraiser tonight, and they will be donating anywhere from 15% to 30% of their proceeds directly to the Carlson family.
My family we felt all the prayers and all the support from everyone around.
Brian Carlson says the past 2 months have been rough, and right now he, along with his sons, are taking things one day at a time.
They've been a backbone to me, and I've been trying to them, and I know it's going to be a long haul for all of us.
And Carlson says he couldn't have gotten this far without the support from his community.
Kathy was an amazing person, and everyone, this has shown that, and I just want to thank everyone. Thank you very much.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
Well, tonight, more than $1,400 was raised for the Carlson family. If you'd like to donate, you can find out how to do that on our website at WKYT.com.
Police and animal control workers are looking for those responsible for shooting cats with a BB gun in a Woodford County neighborhood. Investigators say at least 6 cats have been shot in the Lanes View neighborhood, and 2 of those cats died. One woman says her cat named Cinderella survived being shot, but the cat may not be able to use one of her back legs anymore. Her owner says she can't understand why someone would want to hurt cats in the neighborhood.
And that's what, it's not fun and games. You're taking a life. It's a life, no matter how you look at it.
Animal control plans to have extra patrols in the Lanes View neighborhood.
A gruesome discovery at a Whitley County home. Investigators say they found starving dogs and others that had died. The Whitley County Sheriff says animal rights groups saw what was going on at the home off US 25 and posted pictures to social media. That's when the investigation began. The sheriff says investigators found the skeletal remains of 2 dogs and they rescued others that were starving. Deputies cited the homeowner, Charles Wilson, with animal cruelty, but he wasn't arrested.
The reason that we didn't physically arrest him, his wife is in a nursing home in Williamsburg, and he is there now. And we felt this should be the mannerism that we handle the case.
Police say Wilson has agreed to give up all of the dogs at his home. Police say they were also called to the home last month because they claim Wilson's bedridden 27-year-old daughter wasn't being cared for. She was removed from the home. Police say the Commonwealth's attorney didn't pursue any charges.
It appears the sexual misconduct investigation involving former Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert is expanding tonight. The FBI says it's now aware of 2 more cases of potential victims. Danielle Nottingham has the latest.
Former House Speaker Dennis Hastert is now being linked to as many as 3 potential victims of sexual misconduct. Cases that came to light during an FBI investigation into millions of dollars Hastert allegedly paid as hush money. The victims date back to Hastert's days as a teacher and wrestling coach at Yorkville, Illinois High School. Sources say one of the potential victims is the person listed as Individual A in a federal indictment against Hastert. He is charged with evading bank regulations by withdrawing the money in small increments and lying about it to the FBI. Jolene Burge told ABC Hastert molested her brother Stephen Reinbold in high school when Reinbold worked with the wrestling team. Hastert's name came up years later when Reinbold told his sister he was gay.
I asked him, Stevie, when was your first same-sex experience? I mean, he just looked at me and said, it was with Dennis Hastert.
Reinbold died of AIDS in 1995. Gary Matlock was also on that wrestling team, but recalls nothing untoward.
It surprised me. It's disappointed me.
Hastert will be arraigned Tuesday in federal court in Chicago. Danielle Nottingham, CBS News.
Hastert has not been charged with sexual abuse. He has not made any public statements since his indictment.
Well, if you enjoyed the sunshine and warm temperatures we had today, you'll probably like what's in store for the weekend. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell has an early look at your forecast. Hi, Jim.
Hello to you, Amber, and you will enjoy the forecast this weekend if you like this nice weather that we had out there today. Dry and, of course, sunny, because that's the trend I don't think that will carry over into the weekend. Tonight, it's rather warm out there, running in the low 70s right now in Lexington, 72 degrees to be exact, and then you're going to find some mid-60s, upper 60s, and more low 70s scattered throughout Kentucky. Now, as we head through the overnight, we'll likely see these drop into the low and mid-60s. And there you see as we go through the overnight now, there's the low and even a few mid coming into play. Tomorrow, as we get into the afternoon and evening, we're going to lose maybe 2 to 5 degrees off of daytime highs today. You notice a little pocket of some 70s showing up just north of our area, and we're around 81. We got up to around 83, 84 degrees around central Kentucky earlier today. So we do lose a couple of degrees due to the fact that we have a frontal boundary drifting through the area. It's even sparking a few showers tonight just to our north. But what's been happening with these, the trend, is they fall apart once they get into Kentucky, and that's happening already. This was a little thicker of a band, but now we're losing some of that. So most of the showers will end a little bit later. We will track a better chance of rain, though, coming into play for Monday, coming up for you in just a few minutes.
All right, Jim, thank you. Well, the weather was perfect for a walk tonight. So many people in Lexington's Masterson Station Park did just that. But this walk was more than just good exercise.
The annual Relay for Life of Fayette County began at 7 tonight. Each step helps fight cancer and honors those who have lost their lives to the disease. New at 11 tonight, Garrett Weimer talked to some of those walking for a cure.
Everyone here has a story. Every step, every shirt, every survivor.
My father-in-law, he has stage 4 cancer. He also has a 90% blockage in his heart.
But whatever path brought them here, losing loved ones, facing battles themselves.
My son would be here tonight as well, but unfortunately, he's in the hospital for one of his many trips.
Now they're united as brothers, sisters, family in the fight against cancer.
So because I feel like we're all a big family, we all support each other so well, and we all want the same thing.
And it's that, the support, the smiles, the hugs, the tears together, that, at the end of the day, is the source of so much hope for so many.
You really have to be kind of like a coach, but you also have to be their superhero for them.
And that's something that extends far beyond this pavement.
The people are here to find a cure to the issue at hand. And it's, you know, it makes us all comfortable that there's more than just us that want this thing to get better.
Everybody needs to know that they're not suffering through this alone.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And organizers say the teams have raised more than $123,000 so far. Fundraising continues all night until 7 a.m.
Tomorrow, American Pharoah will try to become the first horse since 1978 to win the Triple Crown. And he'll have plenty of fans rooting for him during the Belmont Stakes. Some of them are at Old Friends Equine Center in Scott County. One of the farm's residents is Silver Charm, who won the 1997 Kentucky Derby and Preakness, but fell just short in the Belmont.
Everyone here at Old Friends certainly has their fingers crossed and are rooting for our American Pharoah and rooting for the connections of Silver Charm, Barb Baffert, and others. So we certainly hope it'll happen.
Bob Baffert, who trains American Pharaoh, also trained Silver Charm during his racing career. Thousands of people are expected to watch the Belmont Stakes at Keeneland tomorrow. Keeneland will simulcast all races tomorrow from Belmont Park. Drive-through betting begins at 8 tomorrow morning, and the gates at Keeneland will open an hour later. The track will feature food with a New York-style menu. Admission to Keeneland is free tomorrow.
Tonight, family members of a Knox County man killed during a home invasion say they're having to wait too long for justice.
Donald Mills died in May of 2014. Police say Patrick Baker and Christopher Wagner pretended to be U.S. Marshals, forced their way into Mills' home and killed him. Both have been charged with murder, but Mills' family wants to know why a trial date hasn't been set in the case. Baker is now out on bond, and today a judge reduced Wagner's bond to $350,000.
You know, he wouldn't be in jail if they hadn't done what they done. If they'd been in bed at 5 o'clock that morning, you know, he would have been home with his child or whoever.
Another hearing in the case has been scheduled for August 7th. 3 other people, Stephanie Smith, Elijah Messer, and Angela Mills, also face charges in the case. A Pike County grand jury has indicted a man investigators say fired shots at police officers. Donald May has been indicted on 4 counts of attempted murder. Police say they were called to May's home last month for a shots fired complaint, but when they arrived, they say May fired at them. They say they fired back, shooting May. He had non-life-threatening injuries.
Investigators have released some new details about their case against a former Louisville high school teacher facing child pornography charges. 33-year-old Patrick Newman used to be a teacher and an assistant football coach at Trinity High School. Investigators say he used social media to get a 13-year-old boy in Texas to send sexually explicit pictures and video. Today, prosecutors said Newman also took part in a chat room with other adults engaging in criminal activity with children. Prosecutors called Newman, quote, a danger to society. But for now, he is out of jail on supervised release. A close call for a Franklin County Sheriff's deputy when investigators say a suspected drunk driver hit his police cruiser. Investigators say that Deputy Justin Mervichik had stopped last night to help a driver who had hit a deer, but moments later, police say another car slammed into the back of the deputy's police cruiser.
He was out of his car, thank goodness, working that crash and talking to the people that hit the deer. So he was away from his car when an impaired driver ran into the rear end of the sheriff's cruiser while it was parked with its emergency equipment activated.
No one was seriously injured. Police say the suspected drunk driver, Kevin Jones, was later charged with DUI. They say it's the second time he's been arrested for that charge.
All right, how about this next story? A Connecticut man called 911 claiming he and his family had been forced out of their home by their pet cat. The caller claimed the cat, which was inside the home, kept attacking. So he said the family had no choice but to stay outside. He claimed he didn't know what to do, so he called 911.
She attacked me and she scratched me in my leg and bite me. So me and my wife, we come outside and now we cannot go in the home like 3-4 hours.
Well, the caller claimed the cat had a kitten the day before and everything seemed fine until he left the home. He says the cat attacked each time he tried to go back inside. Police told him to give the cat some space, which he did. A short time later, the cat calmed down and the family went back inside their home. I guess being a mama made her a little territorial.
There's something wrong with that story, but I won't go there.
How about we just go to sports?
I think that's a good idea. Brian Milam, I don't know if he's a cat lover or not, joins us, and John Calipari, he knows he has another star in the making of Scalabissiere.
You talk about a wildcat, huh? When you watch him, you can't help but notice